Hey guys, my name is David and welcome back to Simple Finance. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about something that they failed to teach us in high school. And so with that being said guys, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about credit score, and which is a very vital tool in order for us to be very successful in our future. So what exactly is a credit score? A credit score is an evaluation based on your creditworthiness. So the way you look at it is it's basically your report card but in the financial world. So in simple explanation, it just basically indicates whether you can be trusted on borrowing money. So our credit score is going to help us leverage the things that we need in life, such as a mortgage, a car loan, a business loan, a student loan, or even a personal loan. And those things that I just listed are things that you're gonna need to borrow money for. You're gonna need to go to a lender. And what a lender is going to be doing is that they're gonna be looking at your credit score. They're gonna be looking whether you're financially responsible or not. And the reason why they're looking at your credit score is that they want to identify whether you as a person is going to be a high risk or a low risk borrower. Because at the end of the day, they're lending you money and they need that money back. And that's why your credit score is very important, because it's going to allow you to be able to get the loans that you are going to need. Okay guys, let's put this into perspective. Let's say you have a friend who wants to borrow $1,000, and this friend is known to not either pay you back or pay you at a later date. Are you still going to be willing to lend that person $1,000? The answer is most likely no, and that's exactly the same thing with lenders. If you have a low credit score, the lenders are going to think that you're a very high risk borrower, so they're going to be hesitant on letting you borrow their money. But if you, on the other hand, if you have a high score, it's going to show that you're going to be a low risk borrower, and so they're going to be willing to give you the best rate and also approve you for the loan. Okay, now let's talk about scores. So the highest score is going to be 900 and the lowest score is going to be 300. And for anybody who's just starting to build your credit, you're going to be standing at the 600. So the 600 is going to be the medium range, and the 300 is going to be the worst, and 900 being excellent. And essentially, since you're starting at 600, you always want to build your way up all the way to that 900 perfect score. Because if you start neglecting your credit score, you're going to start trickling down all the way to that 300 area. So high score means you're at low risk. Low score means you are high risk. And essentially what that means is that if you're a high risk person, the bank or any lender out there is going to be iffy on lending you any type of money, just because they think that you're a high risk, and because at the end of the day they still need to get their money back. So that's why your credit score is very important, because it's going to be attached to your identity. And another reason why your credit score is very important is because, let's say you're in the high risk area, essentially even if you do get approved for a loan or any type of loan out there, because you're a high risk person, they're going to charge a higher interest rate. It might be just a couple percentage, but in the long run guys, that's going to be costing you a lot more money than you actually need to. Okay, now I'm going to be discussing about things that can affect your credit score, whether it'll have a positive impact or a negative impact. So number one being paying your bills on time. So when you pay your bills on time, you're essentially showing the lenders that you're a very responsible person. But on the other hand, if you don't pay your bills on time, you're always late on your payment, then you're essentially showing the lenders that you're irresponsible. And with that being said, your credit score is going to be going down. How much you owe is also going to play a factor on your credit score. So overutilizing your credit, what I mean by that is, let's say you have a credit limit of $10,000, and let's just say that out of that $10,000 credit that you have, you use about $9,000 of that. That means that you're using 90% of your credit. And by using 90% of your credit, you're actually going to be showing the lenders that you're a very high risk customers, and they don't want that. And so you always want to aim for about lower than 30% on utilizing your credit. And so with that being said, let's say you only have a credit limit of $1,000, but you know your monthly spending is going to be about $800 a month. So what I would recommend for you to do is ask for a credit increase of, let's say, $1,500 or $2,000. And although that's going to impact your credit by doing the credit check, it is going to benefit you in the long run because you're utilizing less percentage of your credit. So another factor that's going to affect your credit score is going to be how often you ask for credit. So things like applying for a credit card is actually going to tank your credit score. And that's why I don't recommend doing a lot of things that requires doing a credit check, just because it actually tanks your credit score. That's why I would suggest to avoid things that consist of doing a credit check unless it's very important. One other factor that's going to really affect your credit score is your credit history. And what I mean by that is, let's say you compare two people, one person who's had a credit card for 3 months and another person who's had a credit card for 2 years. So let's say both people has not missed a payment. The person who's had their credit card for 2 years is going to be in a better standing than the person who's had it for 3 months. And that's simply because the person who's had the credit card for 2 years has a longer credit history. And so with that being said, that just brings up to my next point, and that's not canceling your old credit cards. And the reason for that is your oldest credit card is essentially going to hold your credit history. And let's say you've had a credit card for 5 years and you've been paying it off consecutively every month. That means that credit card is in good standing. Another thing that a lot of us might actually not even know is that any unpaid parking ticket or any type of ticket that you don't pay is actually going to affect your credit score, just because it's actually going to be sent to the collection. So how can you start building your credit? The best way to start building your credit is by using your credit card. And what I mean by that is you want to use your credit cards for the transactions that you typically do and then paying it back on time. And also just remember not to overutilize the credit that you have. You might be thinking, David, you're telling us all about these things, but how do I really check my credit score? Well, there is an app called Credit Karma, and essentially what you do is that you just put your personal information, your SIN number and all that stuff, and it's going to give you a rough estimate of what your credit score is. And I think this is a pretty good source because it actually uses TransUnion. Also, depending on what kind of bank you have, some banks do offer a free credit check. And so like my bank, for example, has a feature where you can check your credit score. So I would go and check online whether your bank actually offers that. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for today's video, and I really hope you enjoyed this content, and I really hope you take some takeaways from this video, just because it's very important, especially for us young people, that we know these things, because these are the things that are going to be essential for when we're making a big step into our adult life. But other than that guys, if you like this content, make sure you give it a thumbs up. As well, leave a comment down below if you guys have any questions or want me to discuss any topic on my future videos. And most importantly, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.